Hi everyone, I'm down on the Thames foreshore and the tide is on the way out. I'm hoping that I'm going to find some good bits today. So let's not waste any time, let's go and see what the tide has left out. So here's something else that I find a fair few of, and it is here wedged in this kind of chalky ground. It's another vulcanite bottle stopper. So let's have a look and see if it's a bottle stopper with a bit of a story. Ah, I don't think I've got, have I got that one? So I'm just giving it a little wash off to see what's on there. And I don't have this one. It's Ratcliffe Pontypridd. I think that's how you say it. Sorry if it's not. Ratcliffe Pontypridd. Yeah, that's a new one. Well, as usual, it's a buttony day. Can you see the button I'm looking at? This one here, let's see if it's got something on it. Ooh. Oh yes it does, and of course it's an anchor. We do like our anchors, don't we? It looks like there's a button fused onto this piece of metal. So I'm going to be a bit dramatic and hit it with my trowel and see if I can get it out. I'll be back. Well, I succeeded, and so I've got the button out, and I think it's a Royal Marines button, actually. I'll be able to clean it up a bit when I get home, but yeah, I'm pretty certain that that's a Royal Marines button. Okay, I think I've spotted you guessed it, one of my favourite finds, a clay pipe. Can you see it just down here? Now I can tell that the bowl is whole just by sort of touching it, but what's looking quite exciting for me is that there's a raised bit here and it looks as if there's definitely some kind of design on that pipe. See? It's just great, it's like unwrapping a present wrapped in mud. So let's guess what it is, or I can feel there's quite a lot of knobbly stuff going on there, so it's going to be an interesting design. It's on that side. Ooh, what is it? What is it? Okay, let's take it down and give it a wash off. I mean, it really is like wrapping a mud-wrapped, or unwrapping a mud-wrapped Christmas present, and I can't actually tell what it is at the moment. All I can tell is that there's something on there. Okay, let's take it down and give it a wash. Okay, are we ready for the unwrapping of the Thames mud-wrapped pipe? Ah, now I think that is the Prince of Wales feathers. Yeah, I think that's the ostrich feathers there. Well, that's really beautiful. Look at that. Now hopefully in not too long a time that black bit there will fade so that we'll get a better view of that design. But yeah, that's definitely the Prince of Wales feathers. How gorgeous. Well, it looks like this might be a button and pipe special, again, I hear you say, because, believe it or not, I just saw this little bit of, sort of a white little bit of pottery there, and I gave it a little scrape, and I've realised that it also looks like a pipe that is buried bowl down in there. And also, actually, as I'm feeling it like that, I can also feel a few knobbles on there, and the pipe stem looks, it's not round, it's like flattened. So, I'm kind of excited about this. Right, let's pull it out. Let's pull it out. Ooh, what's this one? Crikey! I'm loving all this pipe unwrapping today. I'm going to have to go and give that one a rinse off now. Okay, there's the pipe with the mud on it. You can see that stem, it's kind of flat, it's not round. Now, under that mud is something that we are going to shortly discover. Okay, here we go. Let's find a little spot and get the mud off. Oh, it's the suspense. What is this one going to be? Do you know, it's really weird. It looks like another cricket pipe. That is odd, because I just found one of these the other day. Gosh, do you know what? I think it is. It looks like a little person there, possibly playing cricket. And there we have the bat and the wickets or the stumps. I made a mistake the other day and somebody pointed it out. How odd is that? You don't find a cricket pipe for years and then you find two in 1 month. And excitingly, it does have something on it, so it could be a maker's mark or it could be a trademark or something, but that is stunning. Look at that. Imagine wrapping up your Christmas presents with mud and then people had to wash off the mud to see what the present was. Now there's an idea. Oh, I'm thrilled with that. I've just seen something potentially worth a look at down here. Just down here by that rusty piece of metal there. Looks like a tag, but I thought at first that it might be a coin. Let's have a look. It's one of these tags. I love these tags. 1181 IRES. See if it's got anything on the other side. I think they're like factory tags. This one doesn't have a hole in it, which is quite unusual. 1181 IRES2. This is quite cool. It's like the end of some binoculars or something. Got a little lens in there, a little glass bit. Spot the ammunition. I've got a flotilla of swans following me up the river because they think I've got lots of food, but I haven't. I thought I was imagining things, that I was looking at a rock with some lettering on it, and then I touched it and realised that actually this is a piece of metal, and it does have some lettering engraved on it or stamped into it. I think it's lead. So I'll unfold that later and have a look. There's probably some lead to wrap around cables or something. But they do rather thrill me, to be honest, these bits of metal with letters stamped in them. It's the idea that somebody did that a long time ago. It used to have an important purpose and then it ended up in the mud. Look at that. I'm just scanning around this area here and I've seen this round edge sort of like poking out from the mud here, so I just want to see what it is. It's probably nothing very much. It's just there, can you see it? Let's pull it out. Oh, it's like another lens. And you know, remarkably, it's not even broken. But the metal bit's coming off, so I'll have to be quite careful with it. The tide's not as low as I thought it was going to go today, but I've just popped over to a slightly different spot and I'm going to have a scrape around here. Oh, what's this? This little thing looks like a little dish. That's quite handy. I could use it to keep little pins and buttons in. Not that I have any of those, of course. Just see this little squiggly bit of lead. I think it's a snake. Nice little old wooden frame here. That'll come in handy. Now I've just seen a coin and I thought initially that it was a modern penny. I think it is modern, but it's definitely not a penny. It's just here. It's 25 somethings. Something foreign. And down here there is another button. I'm afraid this is a bit of a pipey button video. Oh, look. But it does have a maker on, which adds that extra interest factor. R. Davis. Who's he? Right, where does he come from? So I think it's R. Davis and Co. Is that Hull? Okay. R. Davis and Co. from, I think it's Hull. So let's look him up, see what he was up to when he was making buttons, or when he was running something that used to necessitate buttons with his name on. Okay, there's a little something down here. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking, but it's worth picking up. Look, it's a tiny little part of a buckle. It's quite nice. Well, the tide's on the way in now, and well, what an outing. I mean, I thought that I didn't really find that much, and I know it's the usual old stuff. It's the pipes and the buttons and the pottery and the bullets and the nails and things, but they are just so, I don't know, captivating, aren't they? And look at these pipes. These are glorious. I can't read what it says on there at the moment, but I can see a little man, a little cricketer, on that side, and on that side I can see the wickets, and this pipe here, which is also a little piece of art with the ostrich feathers there, and it probably says something like Ich dien on it, I think. So we've got that, we've got a nice variety of little nails and pins, a couple of sort of lenses here, quite intriguing. This little thing may be part of an old lipstick case. Got this old bullet here, a little lead snake, a couple of vulcanite bottle stoppers, one of them Ratcliffe Pontypridd. Got lots of little bits of pottery because I'm going to make some cards with those. A broken ink bottle, a nice button, R. Davis, from what I think is Hull. This foreign coin here, we'll have a closer look at that when I get back. This piece of metal with some letters stamped into it. I've unfurled it, but I can't read it just yet. And I'll be able to see what it says when I get home. I strongly suspect it'll have something to do with cables. They usually do. Some modern coins. This tag here, 1181. Gorgeous little button with an anchor on it and something else on it that I can't see yet. A little tiny buckle, another tiny button, another button, another button. Lots of buttons. So look, a lovely little array of objects here, left out by the tide. Nothing of monetary value, but all absolutely intriguing with a secret story all of their own. So I'll do a little bit of research on those objects that I can and give you a little bit more information later on. I mean, it's true to say that you don't always find sort of a massive amount of special, precious objects when you go out mudlarking. It really is, and I always go back to the same thing. It really is the story behind the object. And the fact that, you know, somebody back in the mid-19th century sat there smoking this pipe and then dropped it, threw it away. So I invite you to just imagine who owned these objects, whose shirts the buttons fell off, who was smoking those pipes, which ships these nails came from. Let your imagination go on a journey. Hi everyone, it's Christmas Eve, and so I thought I would pop down to the river and see what there is to find, and I'm probably going to tag this video, well, as long as I find something, onto the end of my last little video. So we'll have a little combination of outings. It's quite nice to escape the shopping and the busy streets and everything, to come down here and it's all nice and calm and it just soothes the soul. Oh, now look what I found here. And of course I thought at first that it was a clay pipe, but it's not. It is part of a wig curler. That's pretty exciting. I wonder if it's got a maker's mark on it. Let's have a look. Do you know what? It might have something on the end there. But that is a clay wig curler. Hooray! Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing if there's something on the end there. I think there might be some letters, you know. Well, that's it everyone. I am ready to go home now on this Christmas Eve. Thank you very much for watching, and I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you a very, very happy new year, and thank you for all your support during the past year, for all your comments and feedbacks and suggestions on the videos. I very, very much appreciate it. I also wanted to take this opportunity to bring you somewhere which sort of encapsulates for me the whole joy of mudlarking. Back in 2015 I found a little brass tag with a name and an address. It really didn't look terribly interesting, but in fact it's probably one of my favourite finds, and it opened up a marvellous story. And here I am in a cemetery next to the grave of a World War I soldier called Frederick Jury, who was born in 1873 and died in 1932. And it's his tag that I found in 2015. And I think it's stories like that which are so very important to me. You might just find a button or a piece of a pipe stem, or in this case a luggage tag, and it opens up a whole marvellous story of a life from the past, and it's those stories that I love to tell. Also, I've had a little bit of help this week, and one of the pipes which featured in today's video, the one with the cricketer on it, was made by a William Luckett. Now, I've had my mother here, who's actually filming me right now, thanks Mum, and she's done a little bit of research about William Luckett, and we've come up with some really interesting facts. So before we go, I'm going to share that with you. My mum is going to tell you a little bit now about William Luckett. Right, well, I'm back at the studio now with my mother, Anita Carey.
Hello.
This is Anita, my mum, and we've been having a great Christmas. It's been absolutely lovely. It's gone by so fast. And anyway, whilst my mum has been here, she has been a fantastic research assistant. And as I was saying earlier, I found a pipe which featured in this video, which was made by a William Luckett, who was a local pipe maker born in 1865. And I've got a few of his pipes, actually. And I hadn't found out a great deal about him before, but I'm lucky enough to have my mother here, who has done some research and has found out some information about William Luckett, and she's now going to tell us a little bit about what she's found out.
Right. Well, I got this information from an article written by Philip Woolard for the Greenwich Industrial History blog. And it's just fascinating reading, because William Luckett was born actually, and the family lived in this area, very near to where Nicola lives. So he was born, as Nicola said, in 1865. He had 7 brothers and sisters, all born to George and Jane Luckett. And his father, George, worked in a forge, so nothing to do with being a pipe maker yet. In 1881, the article says the family lived at 47 Princes Road, Plumstead. And William, at 16 years old, was described in the census as a factory hand. Now, it is significant that in 1881, at number 31 Princes Road, lived Henry Stubbs, who was a well-known tobacco pipe maker. And at number 13 Princes Road lived Henry's brother Thomas, who had 9 children. Thomas himself was a pipe maker, as were 3 of his sons. Now, William would have known these children, these 3 Stubbs children. Thomas was 20, Henry at this time was 15, and Walter 13. So you could imagine them kicking a football around in the street, couldn't you?
Yeah, and if I can interrupt you there, actually, I also have quite a few clay pipes by Thomas Stubbs.
Wow, so quite likely to be one of those, yes, either the father or the son. So maybe this was the first thought that he had about being a pipe maker, a clay pipe maker, rather than just working in a factory. Anyhow, in 1898, William, who was now 33 years old, he moved to 67 Palmerston Road, but it was only a few streets away from Princes Road. And in the 1901 census, William is described as a general labourer. But he and his daughter Mabel had a lodger living with them called John Longworth, and he's described as a tobacco pipe maker of London. And there's no doubt in the mind of the person who wrote this article that John Longworth was helping William Luckett in his pipe making business.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, moving on to 1906, this is when William is first described as William Luckett, tobacco pipe manufacturer, 67 Palmerston Road, Plumstead. So he's actually arrived. And it's really nice to know about a little bit about the family. So William's wife was Mary Jane Day, and she was affectionately known as Ginny. And they had 2 children, Mabel and Harold. Harold became an engineer, And Mabel, we don't know what she did, but she married John Maclean in about 1924. William probably died in around about 1948 because he's mentioned in the 1947-48 census, but not in the 1949-50 census. So he probably died in 1948. And so he has a grandson, William, who is called John Maclean. And according to his reminiscences, William was a singular man, proud and intelligent and strong-minded, and you certainly didn't trifle with him. He followed a trade that was very demanding and not well paid, so one may conclude it was primarily a labour of love. Because by the late 19th century, the clay tobacco pipe was going out of fashion, but it's testament to William's character that he was able to support himself and his family in the pipe making business. So it's been really interesting helping Nicola to research this man, and as I close my eyes I think, can I remember my grandfather having one of those pipes? Maybe I can. Perhaps it's just imagination, but who knows. But there must have been millions of pipes smoked by people and just discarded when they finished them. And how wonderful that they're still, thanks to the mud in the River Thames and other places, but particularly the River Thames, still found, and a lot of them intact and
I know,
almost as good as new.
Yeah, I mean, and big thanks as well to Philip Woolard for writing this blog. And what's beautiful is a bit like the tag, which I was telling you about earlier from Frederick Jury. You find a clay pipe, and it's more than just a pipe because it has the name of the maker on it.
Yeah.
And similarly, similar to Fred Jury, it sort of brings William Luckett back to life again when you learn all about his life and his family. And Mum, I have to say, you are a great research assistant. Would you like a job?
I would love to. Yes.
Because I have many other things that I need researching.
Watch this space.
Yeah, so thank you very much for that. And again, everybody, have a wonderful new year and all good things, many blessings and good things for 2020.
Yes, wishing you all who's watching this DVD a very peaceful and happy and prosperous and joyful new year to you all.
Excellent. See you soon.
Bye for now.